Okay.
All right.
So we're back.
Ready?
We're back.
We're back.
A dinosaur story.
I hope not. That'd be bad news.
First category on this second podcast part is...
Pull it up. Best gaming moment.
So we hinted that we're going to do this. We're going to talk about some moments in gaming.
Yeah, this is basically like not necessarily industry stuff, but like for us, like the oh crap moment, or oh this is awesome moment, or like this is really cool, or very heartfelt, or I cried, or just like something that was impressive to us.
Did you cry in games this year?
No.
Me either.
I don't think
I
did.
You heartless turd.
I think we suck.
I should have cried when Mama Jane, what's her name? Aunt May died, but I did not.
Oh, wait, if Aunt May is Mary Jane's mom,
that'd be weird. They're siblings,
cousins.
Oh, cousins. Oh, that's okay.
Okay. For me, I think a cool moment in this game, in this year, well, I haven't talked about this yet. Subnautica.
Okay.
Subnautica has been an early access game for several years. I think it first came into early access and was released, quote unquote, in 2016, but its official release was 2018. There are some cool moments in that game that involve the world design in that game in the underwater as you're swimming and exploring the subterranean depths is when you like first find your first like large creature and you're like, oh cool, or you start diving into caves, or you start diving onto wrecks, or just there's a lot of cool things that you do in that game that as you're just kind of exploring and you find stuff that are really like in the 16 hours that I've put into that game, and I will put in more for sure. That game has just been several cool moments, or like, oh crap, like I don't want to go there.
Yeah.
There was one part where I legitimately jump scared.
Okay.
When I'm in the dark and all of a sudden this thing with claws like grabs me and eats me, like completely out of nowhere.
I mean, is every moment underwater in that game a jump scare for me? Since I'm terrified of the monsters of the deep.
That maybe. But for me,
there's some huge monsters down there, right?
There's some big ones.
Yeah, some big old fishies.
There's some big, like, I don't want to mess with you. Like, I'm not high enough level. I don't even know I don't have torpedoes for my submarine yet. Like, I'm not gonna mess. But there's some cool moments in that game. For me, there's some so cool stuff there.
I'll talk about. I mean, maybe this is not gonna win, but like, in Into the Breach, the first time I beat that game on normal, I felt like I accomplished something because like I started that game on easy because I heard it was hard, and I beat it pretty quick. It wasn't that hard to beat on easy, but I played on easy because I really liked the flow of it a bunch of times, and then I tried it on normal and kind of got stomped. And so I texted you the other day because I beat it on normal 2 times in a row. Like the first time I beat it on normal was really, really satisfying because you feel yourself getting better to where like when you play it on easy and you get good, you're like, I'm ahead of everything. Like there's turns where I can just do nothing and I'm winning.
Yeah.
In normal, that stopped happening. But the second time I beat it on normal, which was when I got a custom squad, and there's like lots of different squads, but I had forgotten you could do a custom squad. So I did it with my favorite units. I did it with 2 planes and then the artillery unit that makes it so that smoke does damage.
Okay.
Because I thought that was a killer combo. And when I beat it on normal the second time with my squad, I kind of beat it. Like
that was like I could be done with this.
Like I wasn't I don't want to say that I destroyed it like I do on easy. Sure. But like it was a sound victory. I was not that close to losing. I was like, dang it, I'm getting good at this game.
Yeah.
Of course, I did follow it up with me being like, oh, heck yeah, I'll try hard. And, like, dying very fast. Extremely fast. But, like, the first time you beat that game on normal, it's very satisfying. I don't know if it will completely win, but I loved it. That's a great game, by the way. We'll talk about that later.
Yeah, that is a great game. When I beat that game on easy, and I have not dipped into normal yet, but, like, that's
it's
like
so good.
It's a cool... That game's really cool.
Into the Breach. Hot take. Very good game.
Very good. I am going to argue that this will count
Okay.
Even though this game did not come out in 2018.
Okay.
But Super Hot VR.
Okay.
That is a great moment when the first time when you're playing that game and like you start getting immersed into it to the point where like you die and then like you feel pain. Like,
so yeah, there was the time when I was so I went to your house, we both got VR. You were kind enough to invite me over for the first time you were using your headset.
Yeah.
Knowing that VR was something I had taken an interest in for a long time. We probably talked about that on this show even.
Yes.
Like we probably like back in like 2014 I was probably like super hot on freaking heck. I was probably super into when they first announced like the Oculus One dev kit. And so like the first time you got shot and you like visibly reacted, you were like, that felt weird. Like I felt something in my brain because my brain was convinced I should have felt something hitting me when that bullet hit you.
Yeah.
I think the moment that I felt coolest playing Super Hot was two things. The first time that I grabbed both those like shurikens when there's the guys on both sides and I just like threw them sideways. Yeah. I didn't hit them, but I felt cool. And then the first time you get two pistols and you just stand there and do the like John Woo, I'm shooting both directions at the same time, gangster style, John Wick style. That's a good moment. Because you do, and now, in real life, you don't look as cool as you feel in the game. I will say that. Maybe we just suck. I don't know. Yeah. In the game, though, you feel pretty freaking John Wick, pretty freaking Hotline Miami about yourself.
Yeah.
I'm not Hotline Miami because you feel very bad about that game, but John Wick maybe.
Yeah.
That's a good moment.
I think that was a very cool moment when that happened. I thought that was excellent. Mm-hmm. I'll say I also played regular Super Hot this year for the first time.
Yeah.
Went back and played that. I'll say when beating that game, that final mission is a cascade of moments of... So the way that the Super Hot campaign breaks itself out, have you played that? I don't know.
Yep.
You have played it. Okay.
I haven't beat it, but yeah.
Okay. So the way that those kind of missions break out is each mission is several instances of a scenario, and you have to graduate past each individual instance. Mm-hmm. And the final mission is just one intense moment after another that I died a lot on. But when you finally beat that game to the point, it's so good. You feel so awesome in what you just accomplished. Like, sure, beating a game, like, yeah, sometimes that'd be cool, but like, you felt so cool after beating that final mission. Very short game, but very, very cool. I thought.
If I'm going to talk about a gaming moment that's funny, I'm going to bring up something, and I haven't put this on the list yet, and we can do what we want to at this moment. But last night, I found out that a friend of ours, a mutual friend of ours named Trevor, he does a podcast on the site called The Music Matters, had the video game Division. Now, this is a point of contention. How in the world he picks the games that he chooses to pick, I have no freaking idea, but I love the bat poop crazy randomness of it. So he decided at one point he was going to play Bloodborne. So he's beat like this dude that doesn't play video games has beat Bloodborne.
That's an accomplishment.
Because like the thing that he does is if he buys a game, he's going to beat it. I respect it. I don't agree because there are some games that I have bought that suck butt. But like, well, that's neither here nor there. So one of the things I realized about the Division is just how overly convoluted some of its systems are, and you don't think about it as much.
Right.
When we play video games all the time. But when I am trying to explain how the freaking mods on your guns work on the different slots to like this guy that doesn't play video games that much, he just kind of does it.
He owns guns.
He doesn't own guns in real life, but like I don't own a Scar in real life, and I don't have to deal with mods on it.
Yeah, I guess.
But like I'm sitting here and I'm like, dude, and he's like, what about the crafting system? What about the buying weapons and I'm like, dude, this game is so complicated. It's overly complicated for somebody that doesn't like. It's kind of convoluted for me, but it's definitely convoluted for you.
That's funny.
Anyway, so we finally got into a mission, which it was a whole thing, and something that I realized, and I know this, right? we're kind of jaded buttholes, right? We've been playing video games.
That's not where I thought that was going to go, but okay.
We've been playing video games for a very long time.
Sure.
And so we'll say, for me and probably you, I'm guessing, a lot of people, the older we get and the longer we play games, the less things wow us.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because we see them a lot, right? We see lots of things happen in video games. We do them over and over and over. So we're playing I think it's the Rikers. I don't know what the names of the bad guys in the division are because it doesn't matter.
The Rikers are the prison people.
We're playing with the ones with the flamethrowers.
Rikers.
Okay. So we go into this mission with the flamethrowers and it's so fun to play video games with people that aren't jaded buttholes about video games because he has no idea how the mission's structured.
Sure.
He has no idea what's going on. I mean, he doesn't know anything about the game, and I love being able to experience that with someone who's trying to do it for the first time. So that alone is so fun for me as someone that likes to analyze this kind of stuff. I'm crazy, whatever. That's super fun for me. So I'm having a blast already, and we've barely done anything, right? We've died a couple times trying to get to the mission. We've done some stuff. I'm trying to figure out how do I explain this something to somebody that doesn't know video games? I had to teach him how to sprint because he didn't know the left stick clicked in. Because who the crap would know that? If you haven't been playing video games, why would you know that L3 and R3 are buttons? That's a stupid place for a button. So I'm explaining this stuff to him, right? So we see the dude with the flamethrower on his back, and we got the jump on him. So we have some time. I'm kind of briefing him on how this goes out, and I'm like, yeah, that guy has the tank on his back. If you shoot it, it explodes. I'm not even thinking about this, right? So we start the mission. We know we kill some dudes. I shoot that guy's tank on his back, and I'm like, that thing's gonna explode or whatever. And it does the thing where it shoots the flame out before it explodes. Yeah. When that thing exploded, he bursted into just this hilarious giddy giggle.
Oh,
that was probably the same thing that when we were I don't know, kids playing video games and we saw somebody get blown up like that for the first time. We probably did the same thing.
Yeah.
But that was over 20 years ago or something, right? Screw me, but that was probably 20 years ago. Hearing that for the first time from somebody, it brought me such pure joy. I started laughing. I was like, he's never seen this before. That's probably freaking hilarious. And so I was showing him this stuff in the game and stuff was exploding and he was just giggling with glee. It was amazing to be able to experience that with somebody who wasn't a jaded butthole. And it brought genuine joy to my heart in a way that I was not expecting and could not replicate because I'm trying to do this with my kids too. They're playing video games for the first time and it's cool to be able to see someone that isn't jaded experience something and genuinely laugh at it. And it brought such joy to my heart that I would just do I was blowing stuff up or saying stuff just so he would see something cool for the first time. And it was so cool.
Wow.
I loved it.
Sounds awesome.
And also his laughter was infectious.
Yeah.
I mean, it is funny. You shot the dude, his backpack blew up. Yeah. And it's a pretty good explosion. The game does a better job than some games do. But man, it was so good. And also that just happened last night. So it was fun.
Awesome. That's really special. That's really cool. Let's see here. See if there's anything else I want to mention. Not really.
Okay, so in God of War, excuse me, the very first time you see the world serpent,
yes,
I recommend, if at all possible, if you can play this game either with good headphones or giant speakers, dude. The audio design in the whole game is magnificent and wonderful.
Yes.
But this world serpent is a snake that's big enough to wrap its entire body in the whole world. So it's a freaking huge snake. The first time you see it, it pops out of the lake and you're like, this guy's going to eat me. And he gets all up in your face and does the he breathes out of his nose at you and it steams on you or whatever. And you're like, what the heck? And you're like, you don't know what to do, so your character tries to say, Atreus tries to say hi, what's going on or whatever. This thing's voice is one of my favorite moments of gaming in 2018 because do you remember Mass Effect, the first time you hear that Reaper do that like a Reaper with like like freaking love that noise because it's so like it evokes something in you, and by the time you get to the third game, you hear the Reaper noise. You're like, oh crap, something's going down.
Yeah.
And when this thing starts talking, it doesn't speak in a language that you can understand.
Yeah.
Eventually some characters can talk to it, but like its voice is just this bass gravelly blast of sound that I was listening to on my speakers and was just like, what the heck was that? Who recorded that? And what sound was that? It was amazing.
Yeah.
And he's just like, he talks for a while, and I'm like, holy crap, I love whatever this is. And like, you don't understand what he's saying. Like, you have no idea what's going on. But I was like, this is dope. And like, that will stick with me for a very long time.
Yeah, that's awesome. The thing that I forgot about, not surprisingly, Sea of Thieves. When you first pilot a ship with all of your friends.
I almost said this, dude. The first time you play Sea of Thieves, before you find out maybe the secret truth about Sea of Thieves, that game is dope and fun.
Yeah.
I loved that first day. We played like 6 hours probably. The first day that it came out.
Maybe.
We just like marathoned it. It was so cool when like we got together and we're playing our sea shanties.
And all of us are like, we've got like a full ship.
We have no idea what's going on.
No, so like we're just like piloting ships and dropping sail and like trying to navigate everything.
And you're like, oh crap, it's about to go down.
It's that when everything is clicking and you're like moving in that game and the co-op is like peak awesomeness.
The boat stuff is so cool. Or even after we kind of knew the secret about Sea of Thieves, the time we just decided to sail off the edge of the world or into the red zone or whatever, that was dope.
Yeah.
I wish it maybe ended.
Something?
I wish maybe something would have happened other than it teleporting us back to safety.
Yeah.
But like when it got all red and the waves were huge and then our boat sunk and then like we were fighting off sharks and it was blood, like parts of that game are so cool.
Yeah.
And that moment when you first play it, piloting the ship together, doing the music together, puking on each other. Like, very cool.
Yes. So, I do want to give nods to that word as due. As far as, like, the best gaming moment...
First time you swing in Spider-Man?
Yeah.
I mean, every time you swing in Spider-Man.
Maybe almost every time you swing in Spider-Man.
Spider-Man is what... So, like,
that is the thing of that game.
You love open world games.
Yes.
And you love a lot of them. I
like most of the ones I play, yeah.
Pretty much all the ones you play that I know of you like. For me, it's just not my genre. Right. And part of the reason is a lot of the reasons, I just don't like traversing the world. Sometimes they're too big. Yeah. So, like, when you played, like, Horizon Zero Dawn, you didn't really fast travel all that often. I didn't like the game, and I was like, I'm just fast traveling everywhere. I don't care about it. Because I didn't feel like traveling. Felt good, but I didn't care about it the way that you did. That's fine.
Oh, man, Horizon. Oh, man. We'll get... Anyway.
I did beat that this year. Okay.
I'm thinking about it now. Maybe I should play that again.
So, like, maybe, like... The only open world game that I've loved a lot, I loved what's that Hong Kong game? Sleeping Dogs?
I
love Sleeping Dogs.
I was going a little farther back and like, was it John Woo Showdown?
No, I love Sleeping Dogs, and that's different. Yes. But like pretty much like I love Infamous. I love Infamous because moving around the world feels better than some of the other open world games. I like games where you can move around quickly.
Sure.
Second Son. Underrated game to me. Like, I feel like people poop on that game, and I like that game a lot more than people.
I just don't think it held up to people's expectations. But anyway,
whatever, man.
Spider-Man
feels so freaking good.
It's so
I didn't even know what the fast travel was. Somebody said like when you fast travel, you like are wearing your suit and you get on the subway. That sounds hilarious. I never saw it because never once was I like, why the heck wouldn't I swing there?
Yeah.
That seems like the point of this whole game.
Yeah.
Is you get so many swinging powers that you can just zip around the city and it never didn't feel good.
Yeah.
Like, I love moving in that game more than I love moving in any video game, maybe.
More than I love life.
Ever. Like, I played that game a lot and I love swinging in that game. Yeah. I don't know if it belongs in best moment, but like, we have to talk about the swinging in Spider-Man.
Yeah, and I think we will get to it when we get to our
games. Yeah. Okay. Got a moment.
So, for my best moment, personally this year, Subnautica, both Subnautica and Super Hot VR are relatively recent for me, so they're kind of more fresh. I would.
Oops.
I might have to say Super Hot VR. It was being in VR for the first time this year was a very special thing, moment. Just before, again, I was a jaded butthole who just did. It was like, oh yeah, this is totally VR, but like no, this is VR. Like Super Hot at VR is very good.
I was trying not to let myself get to that point at your house. There is a fund that I am trying to fill out right now for me to pick up VR.
Yeah. And
once I have my own, I think I want to like fully dive down that tunnel. Yes. And we'll see how that goes, cuz I've been a VR like fanboy for a very long time who's never actually been able to buy the headset.
Yeah.
And so I want to talk a lot about VR this year as the year goes forward, if I'm able to do that.
Yes. I think a lot of my kind of being not over, I'm still super, super cool, is one, for me, I have to lug my PC from my bedroom to a place where I can actually play VR. So that takes a little bit of it's a little bit inconvenient, but I still do it, and it's fun to play in it. But also my gaming space isn't super optimal for me as a tall person who's playing in a basement.
You don't have a lot of options.
No, I don't.
You could take it outside.
I could take it, I could turn the video games off and go outside and play.
No. That's real reality.
Oh, okay.
You could take virtual reality outside.
I could.
There's power out there.
I could. So
have you thought about that?
I've done some research.
That would be weird, man.
I've done some research. Oh man, can you imagine driving by and seeing
you should play cold VR games? You play cold games when it's cold outside? That'd be good.
Oh man.
I've 4D.
But if you can in VR, if you can get a setup where it's kind of optimal for you, where you have enough room to move, the cable's not a hindrance.
It is a big ask.
Yes.
To get PC VR working.
Yes.
But
it's so good when it does.
I mean, it works when you hold the controllers in your hand and you do the stuff in the game, and it just works. It works.
That demo that we played for the first time, you know what? That demo is one of the top moments for me, at least too. When you're like standing there and you're like, I'm reaching over and setting something down on a counter that's not there.
Drew almost put his controller on a fake counter and dropped it in real life.
Oh yes, like it's very cool. So I would probably have to give the edge to Super Hot VR.
I have to give a quick nomination for best moment, which was when you were playing Google Earth VR. So I was talking to your roommate, and you were playing Google Earth VR, and you were just super immersed in looking at this skyscraper, which just happened to be where I was standing. Like, I was standing next to you. So you're like moving your head all around and like, dude, look at this. But like, you're like right, like closer than this.
I did not know that.
You're closer than this to me. I look at Cody and I'm like, what the heck? This is the greatest thing. Because like, I was essentially the skyscraper to you, and you're like really close to me checking it out. And I was like, this is the best crap.
I did not know that. That's
it was
very
so
good.
funny.
That's very good. That's very good. So
you put it to VR?
That's probably, I would have to give it to, maybe just VR in general. Maybe Super Hot VR is like the peak of that. But Beat Saber VR is so good. Oh, I didn't put Beat Saber on this list.
For me, my moment is probably just like best moment. It's probably that first time I heard that World Serpent. I was just like, what the crap, dude? Who got paid to design that audio? Give them a raise.
Yeah, for sure. Cool.
Most disappointing game
or thing. Now,
thing.
I think there's lots of stuff. I think there's one that we both have in common. I think that we could totally nominate as a winner for this category.
I have to make an apology before we talk about it. Or do you want to talk about something else first?
I think we should talk about some other things first.
Okay, go ahead.
For me, I'll start off with one game that I played a little bit, but I couldn't get into, and that's Forza Horizon 4.
You seem to be the minority on this.
I know I am the minority on this.
Okay, because that game sounds rad, but I haven't played it, so I can't say anything.
So this is the fourth Forza Horizon game. I did not play a game until 3.
Yep.
So a lot of the complaints that people had about 3 was it's an overused formula. We've seen this game like twice already. Like blah blah blah.
I played some of 2 because the Fast and Furious
Yes,
DLC.
yes. 3 was a new concept to me, and I loved that game. I have put so many hours into that game. The world I thought was very well made. I thought that the zones were fun to drive through. The cars were fun. Like, there's some real dumb stuff in there, but that game is just a celebration of cars.
I liked 3.
Excuse me.
I never finished it.
And so, I've not beaten it. I put hours and hours and hours into that game, though.
Mm-hmm.
I love that game. Forza Horizon 4 comes out. And I was like, sweet, this is going to be like the next game to like the game I loved that came out 2 years ago that I played in 2017. Like, this is going to be awesome. And I play it, and they took the formula that I liked, and they changed it in ways that I didn't like. So like in Forza 3 and 2, your home spots were your festivals. And as you
not testy festies.
Not the testy festies.
They're car festies.
They're car festies. Auto festies. And so you complete events to unlock, and then you choose to unlock another one, and then you get that. In this game,
need some water.
I might need some water here in a minute. Yeah, actually, I'll finish this game. I'll get some water. Forza Horizon 4, they change all of that, so you get races for actual money, and then you have to use that money to buy houses in the environment.
Okay.
And that's how you save. If you don't buy these houses, you have two places that you can go to save.
Okay.
Change garages and stuff like that. But they're both in like relatively the same part of the map. So if you end up in some far corner of the map and you don't have enough money, you have to drive all the way back or fast travel in order to get that. I didn't like that. After races,
if you fast travel in a racing game, is that kind of like a strike against you? Because like,
shouldn't
the driving be fun? Because that's the only thing you could do.
Yes, I think so. The menus in the game were like way longer than they needed to be. Like after each race, you have like these, like you're not even in the world. You're like in like this fake like reality place where you've got giant billboards floating in front of you, showing you all this information that is not relevant to anything that you're doing, and it lasts way longer than it needs to, and it's like you can't get out of it.
Okay.
So, and that stuff was just annoying. It's like, all right, I finished the race, I want to move on to the next thing. And it was just little stuff like that just really turned me off to the experience of it generally. On top of that, I really didn't have a lot of friends who played the game, so it wasn't anything I could interact with anyone on a multiplayer level, which a lot of people seem to love that game for also.
Mm-hmm.
People say that they liked it just for the driving too, which the driving, it's more Forza driving. Like, they weren't doing anything groundbreaking in that, but just game design features that they added to it. Also, the whole season's changing everything.
I was going to ask how much the seasons change.
They change everything, but not in ways that I liked.
Okay, you didn't like the winter.
I didn't. I liked going to parts of the map, like in Forza 3, there was like, here's the more jungle part of the map if you want to do jungle. Here's like the plains with the coastal lines. Here's the city, and here's the desert. And then they released DLC for the winter stuff. Like, if I wanted to do any of that stuff, you just go there. I didn't have to wait a whole week before I could do something that I wanted to do. And while a lot of people like, no, this changed like all the stuff, and they were fine with that steady stream of changing content, it wasn't something that worked for me. And so it was just little stuff like that, and sometimes big stuff that just changed the game in enough ways that it wasn't what I wanted. And it just was. And maybe I can get back into it at some point, but like, I'm totally like Forza Horizon 3 is still the game that I enjoy playing.
Sure.
I've got lots of cars playing it. My brothers have that game, so we can play multiplayer in that game and just goof around and have fun in that world. So Forza Horizon 3. So just for me, Forza Horizon 4 in general, I put a couple hours into it, but it was just kind of a disappointment for me. I'm gonna get a water. I need to drink.
Yeah.
All right.
So we'll talk about probably the disappointing, because I actually do a lot of disappointment in gaming this year. I've probably gamed less this year than I ever have any previous year.
Are you gonna go into Sea of Thieves?
Yeah.
There's one more thing I want to hit before.
Okay.
Because I know Sea of Thieves is the thing that we're gonna agree about.
Yeah. Go ahead.
The one thing I will say, and this is, I won't go talk too much about it.
About to poop on a game I like?
No.
I know.
You probably know where I'm going with this.
Yeah, I do.
So one of my favorite games that came out last year was PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds.
I did not know this.
That was a game that when it kind of, I won't say like invented the battle royale genre, but definitely like
it brought it to the forefront in a serious
of the
way.
In a big way.
PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds is a huge game. Sold like 30 million copies or some crap.
So 100 people jump out of an airplane onto an island.
Yeah. I mean, it became the thing that every other game was like, oh, we got out of battle royale mode.
Yes, it's what kind of inspired Fortnite to become what it is today.
I mean, it was what inspired Fortnite because Fortnite was a different game.
Yes.
It still is that other game.
You're talking about, I'm sorry, you're talking about Save the World.
Yes, Fortnite Battle Royale, I mean, let's be honest, wouldn't exist without PUBG because Epic had to change their engine to support it, and then they used those engine changes to make Fortnite.
Yes. So that was a game that came out, and we've joked about it, and it's probably been said on this. I'm not a huge fan of Fortnite. I really enjoyed PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds, and in some ways I still do, in some ways I still don't, and that's kind of the disappointment. PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds in the year 2018, in my opinion, was a huge disappointment in almost every way of how that game was handled. The game plays almost identical to the way it was when it launched, and there's been some quality of life improvements, but largely that game is still buggy as crap.
It's very, very janky.
It does not run great.
It runs very janky for a game that extremely encourages super hardcore play.
Yes. In a way that you need to be on your game, you need to be opening doors and closing them fast, but you'll try to open doors and sometimes it's not responsive in the way that it feels like it should be. It just doesn't play well. And you kind of forgave it when it was in early access and it will start getting its feet under itself, and it starts, but then it starts taking over the world in the form of, not in the same way Fortnite does, but it starts getting a lot of popularity. It makes huge money. The PUBG team, or whatever the name of that company is, they're making huge money on it. They start saying about it, and then they just completely mishandle their popularity and fame. They take something that was super fun in the game. You pay $30 for the game flat, and then you would earn a currency in game for matches and stuff. And then you could use crates, and you could unlock clothes and stuff like that. It was just a dumb fun
cosmetic
thing.
Stuff. Yeah.
It was totally cosmetics, but it was totally free. They completely paywalled that thing. You cannot get almost anything in that without paying something.
They added the system to it that Dota took out because it sucked. Which was that you can get the boxes, but you can't open them without buying
the keys. And
Dota totally had that, and it sucked, so Dota got rid of it.
But they added it, and they still have that in the game to this day.
Oh, wow. I thought they took it out.
No, there are 3 different keys, depending for 3 different crates.
Okay.
And you have to buy them. It's so stupid. They took us a kind of an innocent, fun thing in that game, completely out of it. The game plays bad. It's not super... I've talked with my brothers, and I play with them still fairly frequently in that game. And I don't have the most powerful PC. I don't have it's a VR-ready machine. That thing is not a baby for video games. And that game does not run super great. It's laggy, it load frame rates drop, and
the console version's even worse.
Yeah, the console version's bad.
Which, for me, my thought when I first saw the console version was dude, if it runs like that, why the crap did you port it?
Yeah.
What's even the point?
Yeah, it was very bad. And so, my disappointment is that they took one of my favorite games from last year, and they've done nothing with it. Except make it actively worse.
Did they even acknowledge that it was bad and say they're going to fix it or something?
So this year they announced the Fix PUBG campaign, but I don't know if they fully acknowledged what that even meant. Yeah. Except that the problem is that Fortnite ate that game's lunch and then stole it, and now doesn't even consider it a threat in any way.
Here's the thing about Fortnite, right? Fortnite is the biggest game right now. It's huge, whatever. I don't know if the people... Fortnite was never hardcore. I feel like the hardcore people that want to play PUBG aren't playing Fortnite.
Sure.
So, I feel like there's totally room for them to exist. Will it ever be as big as Fortnite? No, because Fortnite intentionally markets to other people. It markets toward a more massive appeal fan base, whereas PUBG is inherently, they freaking spend so much time doing the ballistics modeling patches that, like, of course it's never going to matter to like the person who's playing Fortnite. It will never be that big, but it seems like even within their own niche of the hardcore military sim people, they just can't get the game running well. Yeah. And like you said, when it first came out and it was early access and everything was buck wild, especially when like this game that they probably didn't expect to be big sold 30 million copies out of nowhere, it was a lot more expected. But it does seem like it sucks bad when it's still like that now.
And as someone who loved that game,
it was your game of the year last year, right?
I think so. Yeah, like it was super fun, and I went to play Fortnite with my brothers this last week, and that game, for being thrown to in now, granted it's been patched and has so much money behind it that they can do kind of whatever they want with it. But that game, even when it launched, played infinitely better than PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds. And that was like thrown together in like 4 months. The Battle Royale mode of Fortnite. Like, it's kind of insane. And like it's just a huge bummer, disappointment to me, where it sucks. It sucks a lot. And like I maybe you can't make that game good because of the way they built it from the ground up. Like, I'm not a game designer. I don't program that stuff. Everything I understand about that is just, it's hard.
Yeah.
But maybe it's just they can't do it. But it was just a bummer this year to like continue to go back to that game and just be like, why can't they fix this? Like, this is a really cool concept, and I even like some of the realistic stuff of that, but it doesn't play well. And that was just a huge bummer for me.
I feel bad for you. As someone that competitive multiplayer is not my thing, it seems like it's a real sad thing to have happen that doesn't have a lot of good reason to have that exist.
With as much money that they have behind them, I can't give them it's not like
excuse me, it's not like it's a small team who has no money.
No.
They sold a buttload of copies.
Yes.
They got the money, they got funding, so that's whack. Yeah. I also just remembered something else that's a little bit of a disappointment to me. It's something called the Switch tax. Which, like, this is the stupidest bullcrap I ever saw, right? I like to play a lot of games on PC, but at this life stage, I got kids, I got a wife. A lot of times, a lot of my games are either done... What?
K-Heath Slater.
Oh.
I got kids.
Sometimes
wrestling joke.
Do a lot of games on the toilet or in my bed.
I do games on the toilet.
Yeah, lots of games. And so the thing is, I end up playing a lot of games on my Switch. And I'm used to like playing games on Steam, and indie games on Steam when they're a couple years old just go down to nice prices, $5-10 for a lot of these games. For some reason, it's become this trend, and some of it's going away and some of it's staying bad, where like they're porting 3-year-old indie games from the PC to the Switch and charging absurdly high prices for them. Yeah. And I just don't... I get it, right? Porting costs money, and I get that they have to charge money for it, and it is what it is. Yeah. But it's whack. As somebody that owns all the platforms, it's whack. And you know, some people are like, "We'll suck it up and do it because it's portable," like whatever. There are games that I have, out of principle, looked at and been like, "Man, I really want to play this on Switch because I didn't play it on PC. Right. They ported it to Switch, and I just will not buy it because I don't want to pay $30 for a game I can get for $10 on Steam."
Sure.
And that ticks me off. And we've seen examples, some good examples of the change was Hollow Knight, when it went on sale for Christmas, was the same on PC and wheeling it.
Is the stop and play button going to show on your recording?
No.
Okay.
The Hollow Knight, the sale was the same or within like 40 cents or whatever.
Sure. Okay.
On Switch and PC. I also bought Into the Breach on Switch, even though I had it on PC. It was the same price basically. So like some of that's going away, some of that's not going away. It just seems stupid, and I get tired of it.
Yeah.
And you're kind of taking advantage of people. I get it. Like, ports cost money, but it's super annoying as someone that could get it on PC. But like would rather play it on Switch.
I mean, ports cost money, but like a lot of stuff gets ported to stuff that it's not like that. Like Sony and Xbox and PC stuff like that, all stuff gets ported around. But the Switch seems to be a unique
and the Switch.
thing.
The Switch is the best place to play basically all the indie games. Like that's just kind of a not secret anymore. That if you're going to play an indie game and you have a Switch, you should probably just buy it on a Switch because it's perfect for that.
Rip Vita.
Yeah, it killed the. It is basically the Vita killer
it is
because
it
became the best place to play. If
one...
Hotline Miami 3 comes out, I want to play it on my Switch because I played both those other games.
It was the thing we needed, but not the thing we deserved.
Yeah, dude, the Switch is secretly awesome. It's
Secretly?
not a secret anymore.
Not a secret.
It's selling like crazy.
Not in 2019. It's no secret.
I love my Switch. It's the console that I play the most.
Yeah.
But yeah, I want to talk about that. Okay, now we ready to dive in?
Let's dive in.
I'm diving
Sea of Thieves.
Yeah, okay. Sea of Thieves.
Man.
I don't know of a game, and listen. We have to apologize to my brother-in-law because he's...
Yeah.
My brother-in-law, bless his heart, is one of the guys that's like, no, dude, they added the content to the game. They may have. And I feel bad for not playing it again.
Mm-hmm.
But.
Ooh.
.com.
I like.
You cannot deny, and it's a subjective thing, so my brother-in-law didn't care so much. Yeah. I'm not trying to diss his opinion because he has his opinion. That's fine. I spent a lot of time doing dumb stuff in video games. He liked that game at launch. Mm-hmm. He continued to play it. They added content. He tells me there's a lot of content in the game now.
Okay.
For me, I played that game. We talked about that. We talked about it for best moment. That was so fun. Mm-hmm. Then you realize when that game launched, there was jack in it. There was nothing in it. There was quests that were almost all the same, and you were going to the same islands, and there was no reason to do them. There was cosmetic stuff, and you're like, oh, cool, I'll buy this cosmetic stuff. But also, for this character I can't customize.
Yes, but also, like, everything, all the level ups were so high.
It was stupid expensive.
It was impossible to get to them.
There was one thing in the game, which is like, you could become a legendary pirate, and there's 3... It did nothing! You got legendary quests that were harder than... I
could get white sails with green stripes.
I never have felt so sad about a game, because I liked playing it, and the shooting never felt good. But I loved playing it, and I loved the whimsical nature, and I loved being on a boat with my friends. I loved playing stupid songs.
Yeah.
But there was jack to do, and you get the treasure chest, and you open the treasure chest, and there's 50 coins when you need 10,000 for something. It was so ill-advised, and I hope 2019 is the year that I jump in that game and there's stuff to do.
Oh man, that'd be so good.
What if they just make that a real game instead of a demo?
Yeah. You mean like Atlas?
And then we can finally convince my cousin Micah to play with us, and we can have the fun with it we wished we could have had back in the day. Mm-hmm. But we couldn't have the fun, because after that first day that we played it, I jumped back in and I was like...
Yeah...
And then I was like, well, what if we go grief those other people? And I'd be like, well, we can't steal their boat because then they just spawn back on it. Like, I was so disappointed.
That game, for as long as it was in development, it's like, what were they doing? Like, I understand games are hard, like making them and stuff like that, but what were they doing? For like that,
they were making that water and that boat tech so fun.
That water's some good looking water.
They forgot to add the quests. And I wanted to love the game so bad.
I still do. Because it's so fun. But then you realize there's just nothing. Like I talked about like Far Cry 5, and like the thing about that game that's really fun is the multiplayer. The only thing Sea of Thieves is multiplayer, but it's like, imagine just doing stupid stuff with your friends in a pirate world that lets you do stupid stuff. Like, it's so fun to do that.
What if you could, like, play cards with each other? What if you could play cards against the AI and one of your people could cheat and, like, look at the cards that the other player had? That'd be freaking hilarious. Like, I can think of things. I don't know, dude. I've never been...
What if the servers were actually populated?
I don't want to say I've never been that disappointed.
No,
because I have been.
But it was still... It was
easily my most disappointing
It was the
moment.
biggest bummer. And it's not just us. Like,
no, it was a lot of people.
That game was a huge bummer for a lot of people. and they were supposed to release free content updates. I paid $60 for that full game. Like,
I think they did release content updates.
They did, and they were, yeah. So like, when
I heard there's a Megalodon.
You know
that
what?
Sounds cool.
Maybe that'd be cool if they do anything cool with it and fun. Maybe that's one of the things we need to get on our co-op calendars is just to hop back in and see what that game looks like in 2019.
After we do that after Ashen and after Kingdom Hearts 3.
Yeah. Ooh. Anyway, we'll get there. We're getting there. All right. So yeah, I think
that wins most disappointing.
Disappointing game or thing. Best favorite old game. So this is the category for all the games that did not come out 2018.
We're not talking about every game we've ever played. We're talking about the games we played in 2018
that stood out to us enough to make this list.
That were no. It was the games that we played in 2018 that didn't come out in 2018. We've talked about some of that already.
Right.
But yeah, I'm not talking about my favorite games of all time.
No.
I'm talking about the games I played last year that were not from last year.
I'm not here to talk about Arkham City for y'all.
I'm not here to talk about Super Mario World, or you could actually.
I could.
You could talk about Super Mario World.
Oh man, I'm gonna put. Mm-hmm.
I'm not here to talk about Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 4, which was my favorite old game of last year. Last year when I played it. But I am here to talk about my replay of Kingdom Hearts. We're just going to go over, here's the games that I played last year. I played Kingdom Hearts. I played Pyre. I played Horizon Zero Dawn. I played SteamWorld Inc. 2. Is that what it's called?
Yes, SteamWorld Dig.
SteamWorld Dig 2. Sorry, SteamWorld Inc. What the heck? And I played Thimbleweed Park.
Okay.
Thimbleweed Park might be disappointing, actually. It was, I don't know, it was fine. Yeah. Okay. It was not more disappointing than freaking that game. Go ahead, and so I'll talk about Kingdom Hearts. I replayed Kingdom Hearts 1 because I wanted to figure out if Kingdom Hearts
is good.
I played Kingdom Hearts when I was a kid, and I freaking loved it.
Yeah.
I played it again. And parts of it hold up.
How many years later is this that you played it after? I
don't know when it came out.
2004.
I probably played it in 2005 or 2006.
Okay, so we're talking 12 years after you played it the first time.
Parts of it hold up. I think overall, if you were the type of person that's going to like that game, I thought it held up better than it could have.
Game or like third person action?
I like third person action in general.
But are you talking about if I liked Kingdom Hearts?
It's not a good third person action game.
Okay.
That's probably part of it. It's not a good third person action game. Parts of it do not feel good.
Sure.
Parts of it are. Okay. Let's just face the facts here. You're either going to be in for the story or you're going to be out for the story. It is a butt-loaded, convoluted piece of trash fire that just happens to resonate with people.
Sure.
I freaking care about it for some undiscernible reason. I like Kingdom Hearts as a series.
Mm-hmm.
I get it. It's maybe the thing that I like that I understand why people hate the most. I like Kingdom Hearts. I thought it was still quite good.
Yeah.
I there's definitely things that I thought are bad and that they fixed in the second game. There was parts I got stuck on that I didn't get stuck on the first time, which is weird. There's parts that I owned this time that I got stuck on the first time. So it is what it is. Kingdom Hearts 1, I thought it was still good.
Cool. So I kind of talked about Super Hot VR. There are 3 games on here that I kind of want to talk about.
Super Mario World?
Yeah.
He just wrote it on the list weird.
Yeah. So this 2018 was the year that Andrew Hall played and beat Super Mario World.
That's Drewby for you who don't know him by his real name.
Andrew. I forget where it actually said my real name.
I don't know.
This thing.
It is possible that on WackMatters.com the word Andrew Hall has never been uttered.
Drewby played and beat Super Mario World. So my favorite games in general, my favorite genres, tend to be open worlds and shooters and strategies. Those are kind of like the 3 core tenets of the genres that make up.
And if you switch open world and shooters, so it's shooters, open world, strategies, it might be the right order.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. Super Mario World is a platformer that doesn't scratch any of those itches. I don't play a lot of platformers. But going back to Super Mario World and playing that, one, it was sweet, I beat like this huge staple.
It is one of the pinnacles of
video
industry,
gaming.
Yeah.
But
also, like your first Mario to beat, right?
You
played 64.
I played DS.
Did you beat it?
I got the third Bowser on that one.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure I got the Bowser on that one. But yeah, so Super Mario World, and to find out that game like holds up really well, I'm like, I'm having like this is fun. I'm playing this.
I'm glad it holds up to someone playing it for the first time now.
Like I was like, there are things that I have issues with in that game. The biggest one being when I jump and stop, I feel like I should stop, not slide forward, and then fall off the platform. I still have an issue with that. However,
as someone that's played platforms forever, I just think that's so funny.
Yes, but that game is very good.
I'm glad that held up. I liked when you came over and I was like giving you basic coaching sessions and like telling you like, oh, you can throw that, and you're like, this changes everything. More than the seasons in Forza. This changes everything.
Yes.
Yeah, like I liked
like you taught me how to farm for 1-ups and 1-2.
Sure, yeah. It was similar to when I was playing with Trevor and seeing that stuff for the first time. I was glad somebody was playing Super Mario World for the first time.
Yeah.
And I was extra glad that it held up because to me, I played. So I didn't own it when I was a kid, but I would go play it at my grandma's house.
Mm-hmm.
And I played it every year when I went to my grandma's house. And when I first owned it, I bought it on the Super Mario, the Advanced version, when it came on a Game Boy Advanced. And that was a game that like all of my friends also bought. And so we were like doing the thing where we're sharing secrets as we played through. And it was awesome.
That sounds cool.
It was so cool. And I love that game. I got to the point where I was like,
there's a secret thing over on this level. Like if you jump here, then you can do this.
You're like, yeah, dude, there's a whole other thing. And like, I did that with my friends, and the first time I beat it was so wonderful. And then, and whatever. But like, does that hold up now? I'm glad to hear that. Yeah, and like, no doubt it holds up. It's still considered one of the best games of all time.
Yeah,
it was a 2D game on a platform that was good for 2D games.
Yeah. So yeah, that's definitely like. Yeah, sure, a list of shame, whatever you want to call it, but like I finally got around to it and beat it, and that's awesome. On the games that I haven't beaten yet, but I still want to get through, and it's still really good, Final Fantasy 3. I still want to go back and keep pushing through that. Like I put several hours into that, and it's really good. I want to keep going, but just a little note there. All right, what do you want to talk about next?
I'll talk about the video game Pyre, which I had bought. It's Super Giant Games made Bastion, then they made Transistor, then they made Pyre. And I liked Bastion a lot. I liked Transistor a lot. And I guess it's no surprise that I would also like Pyre a lot, because Pyre... So, like, you like shooters and open world games and strategy games. I find myself frequently gravitating towards 1, games with weird stories, or 2, weird freaking games. Pyre happens to satisfy both of those itches because the game is half it's half, what is that freaking old game, Oregon Trail, and half NBA Jam if it were a fantasy sport where people sacrifice themselves.
Oregon Trail, okay.
So like half the time you're doing like...
That reminds me of Banner Saga.
Yes, yeah, but it's kind of like Banner Saga, but like less simmy.
Okay.
And also like freaking Banner Saga, man. That's a freaking grimdark game.
That is, I want to go back and play that.
It's not as grimdark. It is kind of grimdark. So freaking, I love the art. I love the art in Supergiant games.
Yeah.
Love the voice acting in Supergiant games. Love the characters in this freaking game called Pyre. Loved the stupid little basketball game. Sure. Loved the
House of Dog with a mustache.
I loved. There's a dog starts with a mustache. I don't know. I felt like I connected with Pyre in a weird way that I feel like it might be my favorite of the Supergiant games.
Wow.
Though I do love Transistor's gameplay. The Transistor's story wasn't as cool. Bastion was a twin-stick shooter that I thought just had style out the butt. It wasn't my favorite. I loved Pyre, and it was just so freaking weird, and the story was so freaking weird, and I don't know. I loved Pyre.
Sure.
Beat that early this year, and I thought that was great. That might, if I had to pick one from my list, that's probably the one.
Okay. Gotcha.
but I've got other stuff I want to talk about. But go ahead and bounce to yours.
All right, so the next game I'll talk about is a game called Stellaris.
Mm-hmm.
I had played that before this year also, but I've played a lot more of it this year.
I mean, is it safe to kind of generalize that as space civilization?
Yes, but way bigger.
Yeah, it seems like it's like a true 4X freaking
It's
massive.
got systems out the butt.
Yeah.
Like you want to talk about like
systems.
Yeah, systems on systems. Like the amount of managing you can do in that game is kind of awesome. So it's a space game. The game's strategy game where your civilization basically like, hey, we just discovered how to travel outside of our solar system faster than light travel, whatever it is that you choose, because there are multiple modes of transportation.
That's how the wars start after Mass Effect.
The Turian Wars.
I'm so glad you knew that.
Does that make you happy?
Yeah, I freaking read all those books, dude.
Did you?
Yeah, I did.
We'll talk about this later. So
hey, spoiler, Mass Effect is dope. Okay, moving on.
So, Stellar, and then you start traveling outside your system. You don't know anything about the galaxy at this point. Like your civilization is
just like real life.
It's you're noobs in this world. And the most that you see is you can, if you zoom all the way out on the map, you can see like distant like stars or galaxies of like, here's the so and so nebula that your species like saw through a satellite or through a telescope, and they like named it or whatever like that. But that's like it. It's all you know. And as you continue to explore, you'll either come across other civilizations that are either just starting out for the first time, or maybe they've had space travel for a while too, or maybe they're like super ancient species that have been around for a long time. And it's like, we're content to just chill here in our little bubble, and you can just go do whatever you want, but they've been around for a very long time. Or you find species that haven't even gotten off of a planet yet, and they're still like in the Stone Age.
Yeah, so like, I mean, you do some of that in Civilization, but not on this scale.
Not on the scale of this game. And I may be talking about it in maybe next year too.
I mean, is there a way to win?
So the winning in that game is either complete domination
of the whole universe?
Of the whole galaxy, yes.
Is it a galaxy or a universe?
It's.
Are there multiple galaxies or only one?
It's a galaxy.
Okay.
It's a galaxy. It's not the universe. It's the galaxy. There's multiple solar systems, but it is a galaxy for sure.
I mean, Civilization's only a continent or a planet.
Or a planet. Generally a planet. But yeah, you're conquering through. But then you can micromanage to the point where like you're controlling like your populations on your planet and like what jobs they do. You control like your leadership and like whether you're an aristocracy, a democracy, some other form of government. You can control edicts and stuff for you can make them a war people. You can control the traits of your species to the point where like, yeah, we're super militaristic and but we do it in the service of our god or something like that. Or no, we're super open to other species and whatever they have to bring to us, but we're also like but we are also like very greedy people.
So you're saying you could open the borders or build the wall?
Yes.
Can you choose to shut down your government?
I wonder if you can, actually. That'd be kind of awesome. Anyway, this is a game that it hits my sci-fi.
It hits your freaking Star Trek nerd.
Yes, very much, and I love it so much. And I put so much time into it, and I want to put so much more time into this thing.
You didn't write Star Trek VR anywhere on this list.
It's scroll over, and I will come back to that.
Okay.
Since you brought it up,
I didn't want to derail you, but
Star Trek Bridge Crew is a game that we can probably just put underneath VR. But that was an awesome, powerful moment. Being able to play multiplayer with real people.
Did you actually get that going?
Yes, and I was a captain of a bridge, and I had officers underneath me who were also role playing and were also doing what I was telling them to do. Like, power fantasies aside, like that, just that being able to play that out as like a fan of Star Trek is like that was a very cool moment. Anyway, Stellaris is a game that in October I spent probably $50 just purchasing every single DLC that I needed to like continue going. I probably own almost every single DLC in that game except for the newest one that just came out. They just released a patch. They're upkeeping the game. It's very good. I would love to make content somehow for the site like with that game. Like I love that game so much. I want to play it more. 2015 release. It's an old game. I've played it before this year too, but like it's still relevant and it's still good.
That's a rad game that if I had a lot more time in my life, I could probably get into.
Yeah, it's super cool.
Speaking of that, I mean,
I haven't even dove into the multiplayer stuff for that game yet. Like, that stuff seems crazy. Like, I don't know how that would... Anyway, Stellaris is a very cool game.
I'm gonna throw in the last 3 games on my list. I'll just talk about it briefly each.
I've got one more, but yeah, go ahead.
Just because I don't want to take a ton more time in this category.
Yeah, for real.
Especially because I gave away Pyre. But like Horizon Zero Dawn, not my type of game. In general, sad. I thought the story was cool.
I really like that game.
I thought that the freaking world was dope looking.
It's very cool.
The game is very pretty. The game looks very good.
Robot dinosaurs.
It definitely like it. I didn't love it as much as other people, but like if there's a sequel, I'm interested in the sequel. Maybe not $60, but like I'll probably play that game at some point.
Yeah.
SteamWorld Dig. I don't freaking barely remember this game, but I did beat it. I thought it was super fun when I was playing it, and then literally dumped it from my brain.
That was a 2017 release, right?
Yeah.
Did that game kind of scratch your what is that game called? The space one where you dig like Minecraft. It's like a
Terraria.
Terraria,
not
but not
really.
That. It's the space one though.
So Starbound.
Starbound.
No, I don't know what made me play that. I thought it was just a fun platformer. I don't know. I don't remember that game at all, but I totally did beat it.
And you liked your time with it.
I liked my time with it. Now that I'm playing Hollow Knight, it probably was similar to that. Speaking of which, I'm playing Hollow Knight. I didn't talk about that. That's a whole other thing. Thimbleweed Park. I love old school adventure. Okay, I think I love old school adventure games. I've been getting into new adventure games. I love like the Life is Strange, some of the Telltale stuff. My wife and I decided to get Thimbleweed Park because 1, it looked Twin Peaks as crap. 2, it looked like the old school graphics made by the people that made like Monkey Island. Ron Gilbert made the game. 3, it was a throwback to that stuff. It was a Kickstarter.
Sure.
I ended up not liking the game as much as I thought I would. Part of it was because I guess I didn't get some of the references from some of his other games that I had played. 2, I thought the game was too long. 3, I thought some of the puzzles were insanely complicated in a way that wasn't good.
Yeah.
Still enjoyed my time with it. We ended up using a walkthrough and it still took a long time, but played through that.
Cool.
Like I said, wrap it up. Pyre's my old game I beat this year that I love the most.
Okay. My winner for this category would probably be Dying Light.
Okay.
Dying Light was a game
you played that a lot. You got into it.
I dove deep into that game.
Now you did not play the spiritual predecessor all the way through. That was
I played a little bit of it.
What the crap was that game called?
Zombie
Puncher.
Dying
Zombie Kicker.
Oh, this is gonna.
The Thieves Have Eyes. It's a zombie punching game.
Oh, it's gonna drive me nuts. It's a Zombie Island game. It's not Dying Light.
It's not Dying Light. How about you go and talk about Dying Light? I'll look it up.
Yes. So Dying Light, I came out 2015, I believe, also. And I had been wanting to play it, wanting to get into it, and I came into a point this year where I basically came into a lot more free time than I was anticipating having, and I needed something to distract myself. So I picked up Dying Light, and I dove into that game so hard. But it was fun, and I really enjoyed that the parkour stuff, the survival stuff in it. There's definitely parts that I meant to go back and like kind of full complete. Like I'm gonna find all the side quests and do that. It was a game where it's like you're playing, and it's like, wow, I think like I might be coming to the end of this thing, and then you discover like this whole second zone that you never even knew was there, like 20 hours into the game.
It's part of the story.
Yeah, for sure. And it's just like, oh heck, like wow. And I played that game wanting to get ready for Dying Light 2, and now I am ready for Dying Light 2. So
Dying Light 2 was one at E3 that looked like they added a lot.
So Dying Light
game.
2, after playing Dying Light 1, it's a first person parkour game where you basically are sent to an island, to a quarantine city that has been infected with a zombie outbreak, that you find out that basically like was put there purposefully by this private agency.
But like they try to like dishonored it up where like your actions influence the city?
Well, no, not in Dying Light 1.
Okay.
Not in Dying Light 1.
In 2.
In 2, yes.
Yes.
But in the first game, like they drop you in, like you find out that they were behind this thing the whole time, but you're basically there to try and like take down the secret agent that that has gone rogue, and you don't know who he is yet.
Okay.
Turns out he's the big bad in the whole game. Surprise. But then you basically like screw the company that you work for because like, wait, you knew this thing was going to happen. Like, wait, you don't care about. There are real people living in these walls. Like, we need to get these people out of here. And they're like, no, if we can't do that, that would mess up a whole bunch of political situations. Like, screw these people. And you basically like turn rogue on the company. It's like, I'm going to help these guys, and you start like helping them survive in the city, and you become a runner, and you're going around doing missions. You're helping people, and you're surviving. Like you. It's just a really cool game with a lot of cool stuff going for it. And I put 30 plus, maybe close to 40 hours into that game. And it's just it was super fun. And I was, when the movement, when you're just flowing and jumping and rolling and going from stuff to stuff, like it's really cool. It's really fun. And I'm ready for Dying Light 2. And so in Dying Light 2, they're putting in a system where the actions, you literally choose like Renegade, Paragon stuff, and that stuff will have like actual implications to gameplay in the world, as like parts of the city change, like different people show up in parts of the city, and you basically have to work with the world that you kind of create and craft. They've got Chris Averone, who as one of the chief game designers for this game, who did a lot of writing for
Dead Island. Freaking heck.
I knew it.
Darn it, that took forever.
Yeah, I knew what that was.
I ended up Googling Dying Light is fake sequel to what?
And that helped?
Yes.
Wow.
Heck, darn it.
Wow.
Man.
Dying Light. Yeah, I only played like a couple hours, and I liked kind of what I played with it, but I didn't stick with it in the way that I stuck with Dying Light. So they got Chris Averone writing for 2, and he's done a lot of the classic like crazy RPG stuff.
I think he worked on like Baldur's Gate or something.
Baldur's Gate, Escape Torment, I think was what that game is, like whatever the second
Planescape. That's Planescape.
Planescape, Escape Torment, yeah. He wrote like stuff for that. Like he's written a lot of crazy RPG stuff. A lot of people revere him for like his skill and stuff and what he did in those games. So he's doing some stuff with this game. Dying Light 2 could be cool, but Dying Light is my old game of the year. As far as I played it this year.
Game review.
I played it this year, and it's awesome. So
sweet.
If you like zombie games, like seriously, check that one out. Like it's a cool one of those.
We're breaking it down to our individual top 3 games of 2018.
Oh boy.
What is your number 3, we'll say, game of 2018?
Oh man, so we just created this category.
No. I'm not going to freaking rank mine because they're so different and I don't know how to compare them.
Okay.
Just pick one of the games. And some of these we've already talked about, so we won't talk about some of them as much. But if you're going to pick a game that you haven't talked about, this is the time. Let's do it.
Yeah. So I'm going to break these out for me into 2 different categories. I'm going to go regular games and VR games.
Okay.
Because I feel like
how about you just do the VR? Do the VR right now because we have. I don't have much to add there.
So for me, VR, the 3 games I'm going to choose are Super Hot VR, which we talked about a little bit. Super great game. It is a must-own VR game. If you have VR, you need to own this game. I'm going to talk about Star Trek Bridge Crew, which for me personally, like that moment was really cool. Being able to like role play on like in the Federation and do that
game
stuff.
looks really fun.
It was super fun to do, and I want
even as a non-Star Trek guy, that seems fun.
It was a cool cooperative. Like you really have to like teamwork your way through those missions, and that was really fun. And 3, which I have not talked about yet, which might be my number 1, maybe. Between that and Super Hot VR for sure, is a game called Beat Saber. Beat Saber is a VR game, rhythm game where you have right and left hands are lightsabers, and you have to cut bricks in specific directions and time with the music. That game is really something special where I could totally see myself just playing that game for hours if my body would let me. It is exhausting to play.
Maybe you can make your body let you get good.
Yeah.
That game looks so cool, dude.
It's so awesome, dude. Being in VR with headphones and then just listening to the music and then just hitting stuff. It's not like you're turning around and jumping and stuff like that. Like you're definitely
dodging.
You're dodging and crouching and stuff like that. But you generally stay in one place, which is helpful with a corded VR set. But
it looks dope, man.
When I first started playing,
it looks synesthetic.
It's so awesome. When I first played that game, I was playing like the songs that came with it, and I was like, okay, this is kind of cool, but like I don't know if I could get super into this. Like this step is something here, and then you totally made me something aware that I was not like. This game has like download this mod, and then like people have made like custom sounds tracks for like a whole bunch of like actual sound music. One of the coolest things that I did, and it's such a nerd and dumb thing, is there is a Star Wars track, which is the last like 40 seconds of the Anakin Obi-Wan fight.
Do you actually do the fight?
And you do the fight. So like you're hitting, you're swinging your blades to cut blocks in time with the lightsaber sounds, and then it ends with and then you do that for like 10, 15 seconds.
Say that you have the high ground?
And then there's like a long silence, and then Obi-Wan says, "It's over, Anakin. I have the high ground." And Anakin is like, "You underestimate my power," and then he jumps, and you can't see any of this happening. You're just listening, but he jumps, and then you do the Obi-Wan slashes where you cut Anakin in half with the block, and it's only 40 seconds long, but it's so cool to do.
Oh, man.
They're songs for the Cha-Cha slide, where you're actually doing the Cha-Cha slide in rhythm. It's super hard to do because they like the difficulty for that song is like expert or expert plus. But it's super fun to do.
I mean, like, what if you were a rock band conductor who was a Jedi?
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
One of my favorite ones is the Gangnam Style.
I feel like I would probably jump in there and just see how many Skrillex songs there are. Like Bangarang is in there.
Yes,
it has to be in there.
Bangarang is in there.
Yeah.
One of the coolest ones I've done was a remix of a Star Wars Empire Strikes Back like song, like, but it's all like dubstep stuff. That's super cool. The Gangnam Style.
I feel like there should be just a lot of good dubstep.
The Gangnam Style, when the actions that you're doing are the actions that he does in the music video, so you're literally like swinging your like.
Do they have the "I Got It From My Daddy" song?
Maybe. There's a lot of good stuff. It's so good. It's just so good. It's my favorite, definitely like party game. Like, you're coming over here, you need to try this thing out. My cousin, who's super short, was playing that game. And she reached one point where she doesn't play video games at all, but she was playing this game, and she was trying to hit these blocks that were coming over, and the VR tricked her into thinking they were super high up, and she literally jumped into the air to try and hit them. Like, it was really dumb, and we had a great laugh over it. But that game is it's a really fun way to introduce people to VR and just the cool things that it can do. So that Beat Saber might be my number one this year for VR.
Dope. Yeah, the top. If I'm getting my headset. First two games I buy are Beat Saber and Super Hot. So
yeah.
Do you smell popcorn?
I do smell popcorn, actually.
Dang it.
Good source of fiber.
All right, so let's get to our regular top three.
Yes.
I'll start. We already talked about it. Into the Breach. Well, a little bit. Into the Breach. If I'm picking a top three, for one, I pretty much only played winners this year. That wasn't even intentional. Like, I didn't pick a game and start playing and didn't like it. I just only picked good games this year on accident. And so I'm not going to talk about Celeste because we're only talking about three. But Into the Breach, freaking 8x8 grid strategy game made by the makers of FTL? Yeah, FTL.
Sure.
I love a good old tactical strategy game. Usually in like the like XCOM vein or the Fire Emblem vein. Played more Fire Emblem. Old school Shining Force vein. Freaking, what's that game we talked about earlier about the Grim World? That's like Oregon Trail. There's 3 of them. Banner Saga. Love Banner Saga 1. Haven't played the others. So I mean, I heard it's like, if somebody's like tactical strategy, my ears perk up. They're like mechs. Mechs are cool. I'm not like a mech crazy person, but like I like a mech here or there. I've seen Pacific Rim and loved it.
So good.
I had hopes for Transformers. I want to see Bumblebee for some reason.
John Cena, that's why.
You can't see him though. Darn it. So, I mean, I hear about Into the Breach. The thing about Into the Breach that's different than all those games is you can see literally everything that's going to happen the next turn from your enemies, so you have to plan for that accordingly. It also means that they can make it really hard because you can see everything that's going to happen. And there's times when you can sit there and just stare at the board and wonder what you're supposed to do, and it's hard, and you have to make hard decisions on what to sacrifice, and, like, how deep it is with, like, what do I sacrifice here? What do I need to get the upgrades I need to get so that my mechs are more powerful enough to like do the next part? Do I go to the next island? You can build your custom squads if you want to. Freaking love this game. I, especially at this point in my life, am not in the position in my life where I'm like, dude, I beat this game. I'm going to go back and play it again. And to be fair, this is the type of game that's made to do that. Doesn't usually matter for me. Like, if I beat a game, I beat a game. I freaking beat this game probably 20 times over the break. Not 20. 10 times over the break, and then since then another 4 times.
Sure.
So, and it's 45 minutes to an hour each time. Like that, I don't have that time of gaming anymore, but I've been doing it anyway. Yeah. So like, I freaking love Into the Breach. I keep switching factions. I'm not going to say every single one of the factions is good, because I was playing with one the other day and I just straight up abandoned the timeline. Yeah. I was like, this is
Oh, really? You've done that?
Yeah. I was like, this sucks.
I found factions where like I did not like playing them, but I finished the timeline.
So I did that with some of them. With this one, I was like, I hate this. This doesn't even feel good. Yeah. Have you played the judo one?
I don't know off the top of my head of what that name is.
It is the worst one. So, like, some of them I'm like, this isn't my favorite, but whatever. Yeah. This one I was playing, it was called the judo one.
What are the units?
One of them, the main guy, the judo guy, is the guy that grabs a guy and he throws him behind him and does 1 damage.
I did play that.
It sucked. And it was such a low point because every other faction I played, it was more along the lines of like, oh, this isn't my favorite, but I could... And then you figure a trick out and you're like, oh, I get this one now. Mm-hmm. Oh, I get this one now.
Yeah, some of them, like some of them, once you figure out like the niche of what they're going for, it's like, oh, sweet, I got this.
Or you're like, oh, I got to go for this upgrade first because now this makes sense. Like, most of it's me figuring it out. With that one, I hate it. Mm-hmm. And like, I've beat it with all the other factions that I've unlocked so far, except that one, because I hated it that bad. But that is not even close to enough to mar my love for this game, because it's so freaking good. And I'm so glad it came out on Switch, because it came out on PC earlier this year.
I wish it came out on Android.
I was told it was not coming to Switch. The developers kind of indicated they weren't in a hurry to port it. Yeah. So I bought it on PC, beat it a couple times. I beat it on normal once, beat it on easy a couple times, and was like, okay, I love this game, but I don't have a lot of time to mess with a PC. My laptop sucks right now. When it came to Switch, I freaking played the crap out of it. I love that game. So that's one of my top 3 this year.
For me...
You got a bigger list. It's rough.
Yeah. There's a lot of games here that I would go mid-tier. It's hard for me to choose like which ones would be like on the top 3. But I'll take the easy way out for the first one. Marvel Spider-Man.
Yeah, dude.
That game is so good. I played a lot of that game. I borrowed it from my brother when I played it. I need to just buy that game for myself and get the DLC.
I'm going to go ahead and jump on that train because that's one of my 3. So Marvel Spider-Man is definitely on that list. Yeah. Because we've talked about it. Yeah. We talked about the swinging being good.
The swinging is so good.
Story's good.
The story is very good. The open world stuff I found was like, sure, repetitive, but like that stuff doesn't usually bother me a whole lot. It feels
good though.
Yeah, like it's when I'm swinging down and like helping a homeless guy like save some pigeons, or when I'm like, hey, when you
high five a rando, which I didn't do until after I beat the game.
Me too. When you're just walking down the street and it's like, oh hey, it's like, and you've got secret handshakes and like, yeah, I got this. Like the only thing that's missing is him doing Spider-Man flossing on a street corner.
I think that would be bad.
Someone gets sued.
Yeah. Yeah. Too soon.
So, Spider-Man, Marvel's Spider-Man, the music. We didn't even talk about the music in that game. So I really liked the music.
I feel like the music somehow was a really good Marvel soundtrack.
Yes.
It felt like the Sam Raimi soundtrack.
But it was a very good one of those.
It was good.
I thought.
It was very evocative.
I really liked what they were evoking with that.
Yeah, I liked
and it played into the whole feel of everything that you were doing in that game.
It worked very well.
It was so good. I really liked the music in that game.
Love that game. Spider-Man.
You mentioned it. It's on mine. I think maybe.
Is Into the Breach on your list?
I think so. Like, it's definitely one of the favorite games I've played this year, and one of the best games I've played this year. The thing that I questioned about putting it on there is like, was it a personal favorite? Like, yes, I really loved that, but there's a lot. Like, there's some real good favorites, but I think I'm going to throw it on there. Like, it's very like we talked about it. Like you've talked about it's so good.
My last game, I'll go ahead. It's not a big surprise. It's God of War.
Yeah.
I loved the freaking... Oh, dude, we didn't talk about the way that game looks a lot.
Not really.
It freaking looks gorgeous. It's probably one of the better looking games I've ever played.
How'd your PS4 handle that?
People talked about the performance, and like I do notice performance on stuff usually, but I didn't really think about it.
Well, so people noticed performance on because there was a bug with the Pro version of that game.
Okay.
When you ran it on Pro, that's where people had problems.
Because I was playing it and it felt like a normal 30.
Yes, the regular PS.
I wish it were 60.
Oh, dude,
but it was 30.
Let's not talk about frame rates right now, because holy crap, that sucks.
I felt like it was a fine 30. Freaking look beautiful, and like this has been said before. I'm not saying anything original, but like, it's a freaking. I mean, it ends up being way more violent than it purports to be. But like, it's this violent game about dadaisms where they freaking use the whole color spectrum. It's so freaking colorful. And like, there's giant monsters, and there's bosses, and there's visceral combat, and there's beautiful cities and landscapes. And it's a freaking place I'd love to like continue playing in. And it's a good thing there's going to be a sequel. So, yeah, I can't pick a favorite between those three, but freaking love those three games.
I think for my third, might pull a shocker. I'm gonna put Subnautica on there.
Oh, really? Yes. That good?
I really liked it.
Okay.
And I'm like I said, I'm gonna put more. For me, it's the exploration aspect of that game that I really, really, really like.
Which you've always loved exploration in games. So
it's a very beautiful world.
Mm-hmm.
Lots of interesting creatures and stuff like that. The base building stuff is cool.
I want to play that game. I have it.
I haven't touched it much really in VR yet. I haven't really played it in VR yet. But that is a VR game.
That seems like a game I would want to play in VR because it would scare the pee out of me.
Yeah, but that game. Just swimming around it's just the water, it's clear, it's good looking. Finding a cool spot where like the water's nice and blue, and then like building your base there, it's like, oh, this is really cool. Like, this is beautiful. Like right now, my base you walk out and there's like I have an observation room built, which is all glass all around,
sweet.
And it's over a cliff. So like you just look down and
water cliffs, my favorite.
Yes. It's just the exploration is what really sets that game aside for me.
Word. Finding
technology, scanning it, and then I really don't. The survival aspect stuff of that game is kind of annoying and irritating. I haven't played the actual open world, like the just creative mode, if you will, version of that game. If I could play a version of that game where I only had to worry about oxygen and not food and water, that would be like the optimal way to play this game for me.
I'm sure you could PC mod that.
Probably, actually. But that game, like, because Hitman 2, I really enjoyed playing my time with that game. And it doesn't hit with me. There's some really good moments in that game.
It doesn't hit with you, man? I don't freaking... No,
it's a very good Hitman game, but I found myself not wanting to complete a lot of the stories. Like, that game is a game that I want to play with friends. And, like, I want to, like, either have someone watching me or, like, watch someone else play and just enjoy the hilarity together with someone. Kind of like Far Cry. You want to enjoy that with somebody as opposed to just doing it by yourself.
Oh, I want to hit man with somebody.
So, I think I might throw Subnautica as my 3, so.
Nice.
There's some, there's some really good games on our list here. God of War is one of the games. I want to go play that game.
2018 was dope. Dude, you can borrow it. I'm not going to freaking...
Yeah.
I'm not going to go back and play that crap right now.
Yeah. So, cool.
Dude, 2018 was good. I didn't feel like 2018 was a super good year for games because I just...
Because we came off one of the best years of games of all time.
Yeah, and I was honestly, the beginning of the year and the middle of the year, I had some other ventures I was getting into, didn't play as many, and then I was like, I got into God of War, I got into Spider-Man, I played some other stuff. I started playing that other game, Hollow Knight. I just got into some other games, and I was like, oh, heck yeah, dude.
Yeah.
This was a good year. I'm glad it ended up this way.
For me, it was kind of towards the end of the year. I started picking up a lot of stuff and getting into it. And...
I didn't know how Spider-Man was going to be.
No.
Like, everyone was hyped for it.
Yeah.
And I was intentionally underhyping it for myself.
Sure.
Because I was like, dude, I love Spider-Man, and I don't know, man. And I was also like, I think Batman and Arkham games are good. But, like, I don't know if I want to play another one, but it was very differential on itself. Can you shoot me the link?
Yeah.
And, yeah, I don't know. I just ended up being so happy. And I loved God of War. I'm glad I beat that. It's a freaking good year for games.
Yeah, very good.
Now, we are past 2018. We'll freaking throw it in the dumpster, and everything else that we play from 2018 will end up on next year's old games we beat this year.
I'm definitely going to just copy-paste this list and make it 2019, and then I have a list of games that I need to beat for the next year.
And then we have pulled up the Game Informer, what's it called?
The Game Informer release
2019
schedule.
Release schedule.
Yes. So I wanted to kind of talk about some of the games that we're looking forward to for this year.
Heck yeah, dude.
2019.
And all of these are past today, so
we've got a whole list of stuff. Ooh.
Today's January 7th, and we're looking at a list.
Ooh. Walking Dead final season episode 3.
Oh, rip.
Actually,
I mean, that's supposed to happen still.
Yeah, Oh.
All right, so we're not going to read every single list that's coming out, but like for January,
we're kind of skim this and pull out some that we're interested in.
I would like to play the new Life is Strange game. My wife and I played through Life is Strange 1, and we loved Life is Strange 1. It's probably, I think we've decided it's our favorite game that we've played together. Sure. And so Life is Strange 2 is out. The episode 2 comes out January. We haven't played the first one yet, but we'd love to dive into that. I also, this is an aside, for Christmas I received Detroit Become Human. I'll probably play that with my wife this year.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
That could be a fun series.
Yeah. What else go ahead.
So, the game that I'm most interested in January, and I don't know if this is a huge surprise for anybody, is Ace Combat 7.
Did you play the other ones?
Skies Unknown. I played 6.
I don't know, dude. That interests me.
Ace Combat 6.
It doesn't $60 interest me, though.
Ace Combat 6 was a game that my grandpa bought for me on the side. Just like, here's some Xbox games, like Merry Christmas, like you and your brothers can play.
Nice.
That game was super. As a guy who already loved, as a kid who grew up wanting to be a pilot, that game was super fun to me in a way that was like, this is
Don't those games have like an absurd amount of story?
Those games are like super realistic, like flying in planes with like, I won't say super realistic flying, but
they're
like
arcadey,
definitely they're arcadey, but they like no, we're dealing with real planes here made by Boeing, but like in an anime world where you've like hear the war between these two fake countries, and like we're gonna tell the stories of like this one invading country and the colonel here, and he's got like really rough, like he recognized what he's doing is wrong, but he's just following orders for king and country. But then here's like this mom and her daughter who are just trying to survive in this like it's like these real like stories about like real people, but
sure,
like
sure.
they try to hit home. Yeah. But this is the first like real Ace Combat since then that came out in like 2006. So it's been like 12 years since one of those.
Yeah.
So like I'm curious. I hope this thing is good.
I hope that does well.
It's coming out on consoles in January. Its PC release is slated for February, so I'll probably wait for the PC release in February. So technically a February release, if you will. But like that's the game I'm looking forward to right in January, quote unquote.
Quick shout out to No More Heroes. That game series looked bat poop crazy, and there's a new one coming out. I'm curious about that. I don't know what I'll do with it. And then the big release for me for January is that good old Kingdom Hearts 3, because I hate myself.
Yeah.
At one point, so we're right now, Drewby and I are working on a little bit of a series for the site called Ashen, where we're playing through Ashen.
Yes.
Because I haven't named it. So we're playing Ashen.
We'll figure something out.
And I want to try to get that done, like at least, heavily progressed this month. I don't think the game's super long. I was like in my brain, I was like, oh yeah, Kingdom Hearts comes out sometime. I think it's like March in my head. Mm-hmm. I'm like, I'll play through Kingdom Hearts 2 and we'll do something. There's no time.
Right.
So freaking Kingdom Hearts 3, I want to play that. I don't freaking know what that means it's going to be, but I know that you're going to be able to play with Woody and Buzz and Sora.
Yeah.
So I'm excited and curious, and I hope it's not bad. What are you looking at for February?
So for February, I already mentioned Ace Combat. Next one that could be interesting, Crackdown 3, February 15th.
Is that real, though? Like,
is it going to get pushed again?
I don't freaking know, man.
I'm curious about it.
Who knows what that means?
Don't you want to play a Terry Crews simulator?
I mean, I want Crackdown 3 to be good. Listen, I want no games to be bad. I'm just saying the things that I've seen, not sure if that game's going to be good or not. It seems like it might not be good at all.
We'll see. I'm bringing it up because that's kind of like been the joke of the industry since for this generation.
You remember when Fortnite wasn't real?
Oh man. Wow, that feels like so long ago.
Dude, I don't think I give a crap about any of these February games.
So, Far Cry New Dawn, I am curious about.
Okay.
So, like I said, the ending of Far Cry 5 is the world goes to pot, with nuclear explosions. Far Cry New Dawn, no idea how it ties into anything Far Cry except 5, except that you come into this nuclear radiated like Fallout world where it's a Far Cry game but in a Fallout universe. But like it's way more colorful and like it doesn't look like as deserted as like desert. All right. Video games.
So we were talking about Ace Combat. We got cut off.
Yeah, so then you were going to, and you're also looking forward to Kingdom Hearts 3.
Actually, I think we're looking at February, and I said there's nothing in February
that you care about. I was talking about Far Cry.
Okay.
Far Cry New Dawn. So yeah, and in Far Cry 5, the world gets nuked. Far Cry New Dawn is basically like the sequel to Far Cry 5. Like you come out of the.
It looks really like that other game though. Rage 2. That's the first thing I thought, and we have that on video.
Yeah.
Where I thought it looked like Rage 2, but it does look crazy. And also, if the game is about hilarious co-op fun, it will probably be that, right? Like they seem to know how to make that.
Yeah. So we'll see how that goes. The new Trials game is coming in February. Trials Rising.
I mean, I've loved me some Trials in the past.
Yeah.
I don't know if I need that in my life right now.
Sure. It might be too.
I'm hoping that also, like, this goes without saying, I'm hoping we just get surprised with some random indies.
Yeah.
Or AAAs, but we don't get surprised with random AAAs as often.
The last thing I will mention for February before we move on to March is Anthem.
That's February?
Yes.
I do care about that, actually.
Anthem is coming out in February. I am very curious about how this goes for
I want Anthem
EA.
to be good.
I want Anthem to be amazing. I don't know. All right, so I played the beta.
Are you allowed to talk about it?
No, actually, I'm not. So I never mind.
He has no idea how he feels about it.
No.
But let me tell you how I feel about it, because he never sent me my beta code. I feel like it looks like it could be rad, but also it could be suck. And so I have no idea. I know that BioWare used to mean something and it doesn't anymore. So who even knows what that means? Because BioWare's made some bad games recently.
Yeah. We'll see how that goes. I'm very curious how that's going to shake out.
Let's see.
We get into March.
The
Division 2.
The Division 2. I'm playing through Division 1 with my friend Trevor, as we mentioned.
Yeah.
That could be cool. Maybe we could play Division.
Mm-hmm.
Devil May Cry 5 is one of my anticipated games for this year. Devil May Cry 4, I loved. Devil May Cry 1. I thought that
came out already.
No, dog. The demo came out.
Yeah, the demo, that's right. Yeah.
So, the demo came out. I think that Devil May Cry 5 could be potentially awesome.
Yeah.
I love Devil May Cry 4. Have a lot of problems with it, because, man.
Yeah.
But, love Devil May Cry 4, love Devil May Cry 1. I'm excited for that. Also, that Sekiro, Shadows Die Twice, that's the, like, From Software Ninja game, right?
Yes.
I'm looking forward to a From Software game.
The one that looks like Tenchu?
Yeah, I'm looking forward to a From Software game. Technically, I haven't beat Dark Souls 3, so it is what it is. But
April, Mortal Kombat 11.
I haven't played Mortal Kombat X, but I've gotten dangerously close to buying it multiple times because it goes on sale for a decent price. I love Mortal Kombat 9. I'm not a fighting game guy, but I've always loved Mortal Kombat ever since I was a kid.
So I have played Mortal Kombat X. It is on the Game Pass.
Oh, then I might play that.
I downloaded it and played it. It is fun. I think it's a good one of those, especially when I think they fix a lot of their like launch problems with that game.
I liked the story mode 9, so I want to play through that in 10.
I have not touched the story mode yet, but that game is cool. And then Days Gone.
Absolutely, dude. Days Gone, game of the year 29. What if that game comes out and it's good? Biggest surprise?
Yes.
If that game comes out and it's good, it's going to be the biggest surprise unless we get a console drop or some dumb crap.
Yeah, here's the Xbox 3.
Okay, we're starting to reach some of these bear months. Rage 2,
yeah, Rage
Team
2 comes
Sonic.
out in May. So Rage 2, is that Conquer? Team Sonic Racing? Oh wait, no. That's for June. Crash Team Racing Nitro Refueled.
So I'm just looking through the rest of the year.
Shenmue 3, baby. Are we going to get that this year?
No, dog. No way. And if we do, but it's not going to be good.
I don't care about the next years.
Bloodstained Ritual of the Night. That's the Castlevania Symphony of the Night spiritual successor made by the same guy. I'm just looking through the rest of the year. This is not a specific month. These are just
Mario Kart Tour for iOS and Android.
We can get a new Mech Warrior.
What the heck is that?
A new Mech Warrior could be happening. Daemon X Machina, the Switch game that looked cool. We saw the trailer for that at E3.
Is this here in August? It says that there's a Samurai Showdown coming to PS4, Xbox One, and PC.
You're a fan of that game.
Oh, that's that fighting game.
Yeah,
I was thinking of the other samurai game where you shoot the bullets and you block it with the swords.
Oh, Samurai Gun.
Samurai Gun. That's the one I was thinking of.
Samurai Gun was a good game.
Pretty sure there was a sequel coming.
Man, remember that year when like all those like competitive couch competitive games came out and it was kind of dope.
Yeah.
Nidhogg, Samurai Gun, Towerfall.
What was the name of that samurai game coming from the Insomniac? Sucker Punch.
I know what you're talking about. I have no idea.
That's not a 2018 game, is it? 2019?
I don't think so.
I don't think so. Yeah, dang it. That game looked cool.
I don't know. I feel like 2019 is a lot of open possibilities.
That's kind of how it always is at the beginning of the year.
It could be a bad year, but also we could get a lot of surprise indies. Freaking Into the Breach, Celeste, those games are not on my radar.
Mm-hmm.
And they were awesome. Polytopia, not last year, but not on my radar.
Yeah. There's always the possibility to discover old games.
I love indie games that pop up out of nowhere, and they're just dope.
Sure. Well,
I think that's all we have to say. I mean, thanks for joining us for hashtag. Sorry, you're the host. You freaking thank them. I don't give a crap anymore.
You don't have to give a crap. You don't get paid to give crap. No, this is the first hashtag. If you want us to do more of this stuff, let us know.
Hit us up. I mean, I can't say we're gonna do a weekly show, but like, we freaking like video games. We hang out.
If you want us to come back and talk about video games, like once a month or whatever.
If something comes up and we feel like we have to talk about it, we're gonna talk about it, and you're gonna have to listen whether you want to or not.
Yeah, you don't get it. But let us know.
Let us know what you think. Hit us in the comments. Hit us in the threads. I do love talking about video games. Video games are my favorite. Check out our Ashen series. We're playing through Ashen.
Yeah, we should be getting back.
I was looking through the footage. So we did part 1 where I played by myself because I was in the tutorial. We did part 2 where we played with each other.
Yes.
Then we figured out if one of us kills a boss, we can't play with each other.
Yes.
So I killed the boss by myself. I was looking at my footage for part 3, and for some reason it looks like butt. I think it was too dark.
Okay.
And also the sound wasn't great.
Okay.
All that we're missing is the fact that I killed the boss. So maybe, I don't know, that mermaid looks dope. I don't know. Maybe we'll skip through it and we'll start playing co-op again.
Yeah, maybe. We're not that far in.
That's not that long of a game. I want to play Ashen, and then I don't know what we'll do after that. We've got ideas. Also, Kingdom Hearts 3 will come out. I'll play that.
Yeah.
Because freaking, I want to know what the heck that is.
Yeah.
Dude, I could go off on Kingdom Hearts for a while. Because, like, man, a series that I love, but is probably just a dumpster fire. I mean, it is a dumpster fire. Sure. There's no arguing it's a dumpster fire. It's whether or not it's worth it or not.
Yeah. So it kind of wraps it up, though. But thank you for joining us for this. As we do, it's just talk about video games and just the things that we liked about them, the things that we kind of disappointed with. Well, we're not too many downers, but it
was a good year.
We're having a good time while we're doing this. So let us know if you want us to see us do it again. If you want to follow, I'm not really on social media, but you can keep I'm on the site. We've got 61 previous episodes of hashtag follow the conversation. If you want to see me watch an MRE and do it badly, that content's up there.
Eat an MRE, not watch one.
Yeah, you can. He
watches the MRE as well, but he also eats it.
Yeah. So if you want to see me on the site,
we did hashtag for 2 years.
I'm all over this jank.
Yeah, he's on a lot of that stuff, and then if he wants to make new content, he's welcome to do that as well.
If you want to check out this guy, you can follow him. I'm pointing for the audio people. I'm pointing at Mike. You can follow him on social media and check out this other content on the site.
I mean, you want to know something fancy? I've been putting a post-roll ad at the end of our shows, so I don't even have to I've stopped doing major what I normally say is like, hey, subscribe to our crap, do whatever. I've started putting a thing where it's like, here's our other shows on the site. Here's what they're about. Here's whatever. And I just paste it at the end.
Brilliant.
I don't have to do it anymore. I do it at the intro as well.
I'll give you a plug, though.
Okay, go ahead. Cool.
So, you've got this other show that you keep calling hashtag, but it's actually called...
It's fake hashtag.
Life's What You Rated.
Life's What You Rated.
What did you guys rate last week?
The main things that we rated were my brother rated desserts as a concept, and also some individual desserts, and then I rated we have this thing that people that listen to that show are moms, and I rated the new Mary Poppins movie.
Okay.
Mary Poppins Returns.
So if you want to figure out how that went, just go ahead and check it out. Download it.
You should. I thought it was a good episode.
Watch it.
Sometimes, I'll be honest, some of the episodes, not 10s out of 10s. It was a good one.
Good. So, but anyway, that's going to wrap it up for us. Come back and join us in 2019.
Did hashtag have like a post outro thing? Like,
Not really.
Do we say like keep it hammy?
We're pretty unprofessional here.
Keep it hammy.
No.
That's a weird thing.
Keep your testes festy.
No. Keep your festies testy.
Jeez. Okay. We're gonna get out of here. Thanks for joining us, and we'll
play video games.
Keep it on the site, and if you want more video game content, let us know. But in the meantime,
we love you.
Bye.
Thanks for listening to the podcast that we produce here at WackMatters.com. Just in case you didn't know, we have a lot of different shows running right now. There's Life's What You Rate It, where me and my brother Mark rate everything on a scale from 1 to 10 that exists in the entire universe. Tune In, where Marcus and his friend Karsten talk about cartoons and their value for people of all ages. Of course, Whack Tracks, where me and a bunch of friends make commentary tracks for whatever shows or movies we might be into at the time. And our newest show on the network, The Music Matters, where my friend Trevor creates a discussion around all the matters relating to music. If you'd like to support the content we make here at WackMatters.com, please go to WackMatters.storemv.com and check out our merchandise section. We sell t-shirts right now, and there's more merchandise to come. Even if you don't want to buy a t-shirt, there is a donate button at WackMatters.com that you can use to support the content that we already make and to help fund creative ideas for the future. Additionally, this podcast is also brought to you by Audible.com. If you go to audibletrial.com/WackMatters, you can sign up for a free 30-day trial with Audible.com where you get to listen to a free audiobook of your choosing and can continue subscribing for an awesome audiobook content subscription. Remember, that's audibletrial.com/WackMatters. We love you all and hope you will continue checking out the content we make here at WackMatters.com.